So I thought I'd just share a little tour of the tree with you. I've been collecting these ornaments for a very long time, and this is not by any means all of them. I have way more than fit on this tree. There's a Tinkerbell, the Grinch, Gator, teapot. And I've given my kids a lot of ornaments over the years. Every Thanksgiving they get a new one. But they have theirs now. And I collect them when we go on vacations to different places. There's Santa flying around the world there. One for my husband, another one for my husband, my carpenter chef husband, Rudolph, a lot of Santas. There's the abominable snowman. There's that tree topper again. Oh yes, the Mouse King. I don't think my oldest ones are on here. Of course, a mermaid. I should have more mermaids, but I don't. There you go, that's the tour of the tree. Hello and welcome. My name is Sharon, and this is Trio.of.Witches Tarot. And this is my VR to Candy, Soul, and Soils tag Christmas tree tarot, I believe it is. And I struggled with this one a little bit. In the past 3 years, a little bit less, lost both of my parents and my dog of 13 years and our cat of 19 years. And I'm just missing them. So this Christmas is a struggle, not gonna lie. Well, on that cheery note, let's get started with this video. Okay, so the first prompt for this is the Dusty Attic deck. And this is my attic where I store all of my Christmas stuff and my Halloween stuff. And these are boxes of ornaments, which I have so many that they don't even all fit on my tree. And I'm missing some of them because they aren't on the tree. And paper and all kinds of Halloween. Do so much outside that's in these. Just a little bit of some other Christmas stuff in there. So that is my dusty attic, and it's freezing up here also. It is a dusty attic deck, a deck that feels like a dusty attic full of treasures. And for that one, keep it in this bag, I chose Madame Lydia Wilhelmina's. And when my parents were not together, and so when they each passed separately, I had to go through their stuff. I had to go through stuff twice. And there was a lot of photo albums and old family heirlooms that some I had never seen. Sorry for the lighting, but winter lighting. And this feels like that to me. This feels like finding, I found a Bible that was brought over. It's a German Bible. It was brought over in the 1800s. And we still have it. And I never even knew about that Bible before. And a lot of, my grandfather was a Mason, so some stuff from when he was a Mason, and old photographs of people that I now know nothing about. And different kinds of trinkets, silver goblets, and oh gosh, I can't even think. But this deck this feels like that. This feels like having gone through all that stuff that was boxed away and tucked away, and that I either forgot ever having seen or had never seen. Sad story. I was already. That is Madame Lydia's, and that is my dusty attic deck.
So prompt number 2 is a Christmas tree structure. Got the tree out, getting ready to set it up. Got my sweet fake tree. Was overpaying for a new tree every year.
It's a Christmas tree structure deck. What tarot structure do you love and why? And it's the RWS. Now I'm not going to pull these cards out because we've all seen them a million times, but I'm going to talk about why I like the structure so much. And it's because it's so adaptable to reinterpretation, or, you know, clones or inspired by decks. For instance, this one. These are a bunch of animals anthropomorphized, yet it still makes sense as an RWS. And this one is, you know, very close imagery other than that they're animals now. And it still makes sense. And if you know the RWS meanings, or if you're just going intuitively, this still really works. Another deck is the Stretch Tarot. And this is just an example of, you know, many, many collage decks that are out there. And this is less of a straight up clone, but still recognizable as the RWS. And, you know, I have others that don't even have the symbols on it, like this one does. Sorry, that's my cat in the background. He can't decide if he wants in or out. Yet it still works as the RWS. You still know it is. And I have so many RWS based decks. Some of them veer much further than others, but they all still work as an RWS. So that's my Christmas tree tarot structure, the RWS.
So the next prompt is the Tinsel Deck. And I don't have any tinsel on my tree or tinsel anywhere to show you. So just a little close-up of some ornaments.
And I'm going to have to admit, I don't have a deck like that. I have some decks that feel like soul decks. I have decks for a lot of different uses. I have decks that compete with each other, but I don't have any one deck that I could say beats out all the rest, because they all have their own personality. So I have no deck for this prompt.
Prompt number 4 is the Bauble Deck. And I'm not sure what to show here other than some baubles. I get some ornaments when we go on trips. So this one is my husband's from Florida, and the mermaid up here is from that same trip to Florida. And this one is from Sedona, and my husband's from Sedona is, where did it go? Yes, it's a javelina. So those are some of my baubles.
Is the Bauble Deck, a deck that keeps rolling around and turns up over and over in your practice. And for me, it's the Tarot de Saint Croix. I think that's how you say that. And this surprises me because this is not my aesthetic. This is definitely a tarot of exception for me. Orange is not my favorite color. And I took a long time to get this deck, but I know that there are people that I really like on TarotTube that love this deck, and I thought, well, I should just try. I need to try it at least. And I got it, and this art style even is not my aesthetic, but I love this deck. And it just has such a clear, strong voice, and it is the deck I go to whenever I have really it's my work deck. Like what do I need to do about work, my job, How do I get through my work day? How do I work with coworkers that are difficult? This is the deck that answers those questions, and it doesn't just do it for me, it does it for other people. I use a deck based on what questions I'm asking. And so this is that deck that just turns up over and over.
And prompt number 5 is the Snowman Deck. So there's the abominable snowman. And I know there's more snowmen on here. There's Frosty the snowman. And there's another snowman. I know I have a ton of snowmen. They are not all on this tree. Here's another one. There he is. So those are some
Number
snowmen.
5 is the Snowman Deck, a deck that melts your heart. And for me, that's the Trio.of.Witches, because this deck is so freaking cute. And it's kind of a little bit maybe creepy. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe other people think so. I think it's freaking adorable. And I don't really use this deck that much for readings, but I don't think I'll ever let it go because I just think it's so adorable. I love the unibrows in it. I love the quirky characters. Love that moon. I love how they're like just these little figures kind of in their own little quirky, weird world. And unicorns. I just think this is so sweet. I just love it. So sometimes look at little teeny mermaids. What's not to love about this deck? So freaking cute. I don't know, maybe I'm trying to think why I don't use it for readings. Unibrow again. Maybe because I can't get past how cute it is to like use it for any kind of a serious reading. Is that why? Because I do love it. Look at that. Death. It's the cutest death ever. Come on. So that is my Snowman deck. The Trio.of.Witches.
And this prompt is the Handmade Deck. And this is an ornament that my grandmother made. I have a lot of handmade ornaments, but they aren't all on the tree. There's one that's handmade that my daughter gave me.
Prompt number 6 is the Handmade Deck. A deck that's made extra special because of who made it, or it feels handmade, or that you made. And I have made some decks for myself, but these two feel handmade to me. This one in particular, like this box, just makes it feel handmade. And this is the first edition of the Danilov Tarot. Sorry, this one's out of print. You can still get this deck, but it's not in this format. So the edges are not cut exactly, they're a little bit off. And this cardstock, it's beautiful cardstock. But just everything about the production of this feels so handmade. And I love that I have the other copy of this deck, which I trimmed to make it rectangular with square corners like this. Something about the art style too makes it feel more handmade. And then the other one is the Vachetta. It's also known as the Tarot of the Master. You can find the thing. I'm trying to remember who published it, but it just recently went out of print. But there's also one that's like a kind of a sepia. It's not colored in, that you can get. And I think you can still get this. I don't think this is out of print. It's by Il Meneghello. But again, it's on this beautiful art paper kind of cardstock, and it's not. This one's cut much more perfectly. Yeah, this one's cut much more perfectly, but still, it has a hand-cut, hand-drawn feel to it. And this one feels Christmassy to it. Just all of the ribbons and the colors feel like that. Just feel like Christmas to me. So that's beautiful. I love the moon card. See, he's got a wreath. It just has something very Christmassy about it to me. So those were my handmade decks.
So this prompt is the Mistletoe Deck, and I don't have any mistletoe. It's poisonous for animals, and I have pets. So this is about love. And so this is my ornament that I got for the year that my husband and I got married, and then he has a corresponding one somewhere. There he is. There's his. And the reason that they are alligators is because my husband is from Florida and he is a gator. Go Gators.
7 is the Mistletoe Deck, a deck that makes you think about love in the holiday season. And for that, I picked a Victorian Romantic. Seems kind of on the nose. And it's because this feels kind of Christmassy to it, and it is, obviously by the name, it's romantic, but it feels, I don't know, what am I trying to say here? Like this, that card, that feels like love. Even the devil card is great. There's 2 devil cards. I don't think I have them both in here. But the lover's card in particular, both of them, if we can find them, let's find them. It also feels kind of like this style. This is my aesthetic for sure, but it kind of feels like this even feels kind of like the lovers. And this, the 10 of Swords, I mean, that exudes love. And not necessarily romantic love. You know, there's different kinds of love, obviously. And I just feel like this has all of that in it. Is this innocent kind of love. There's love. Loves herself. There's just so much love in this deck. Still trying to find those lovers. Gonna be at the end somewhere. And this is also sort of my Christmas aesthetic. These colors, this feel. Where are the lovers? Did I pass them and not notice? Oh, here they are. And I keep both of these in because they represent such a different idea of love. This is so chaste and this is so carnal. So that's my Mistletoe Deck.
And this prompt is the Fairy Lights deck. And obviously this tree is covered in fairy lights, but it also has fairies hidden in it. There's 4 of them. If I can remember where they all are. There's another one. There's 2. There's the 3rd one. And there's the 4th one.
Number 8 is the Fairy Lights deck, a deck that sparkles. And for me, that is my Carol Herzer Starlight. And this could have been in my handmade decks because it is handmade, but I chose it for this category. I didn't want to use it in 2. And so I don't have one of the sparkle editions. Those cost a lot more, where they have the glitter in them. But this, with all of the, the blue background and the stars everywhere and all of the cards, feels very, very sparkly to me. And this is probably my favorite straight up RWS clone. Love the colors in this so much. And I put my the elements and the quartz on them and the numbers, because there was 2 cards where I kept confusing them. They looked so close together. One of the kings and I think the emperor. But it just makes it easier so I don't have to think, what is that card, even for a split second. So that is my Fairy Lights deck.
And the last prompt is the Tree Topper deck. And that is my tree topper. It's a snowman.
Prompt is the Tree Topper deck, a deck that reminds you of your tree topper. And for me, that is the Yuletide Tarot. And this deck surprised me. I got this one as a pre-order, so it came, I don't know, in the summer sometime, I think. And I hadn't used it yet, was saving it for Christmas. This guidebook is really good. Like, better than I expected. I thought this would just be, you know, a fun Christmas deck, but it's actually pretty deep. I've seen other people's videos where they've said that they don't like the court cards, and I honestly don't remember why they say they don't like them, but I do like them. And I like how this deck has so many different cultures in it and represents this Yuletide time, this you know, winter solstice time from all of the different cultures, mostly wintry ones. I mean, I don't think the southern hemisphere is necessarily represented here, but it's definitely northern hemisphere. Mistletoe. I don't know, I struggle a little bit with this canes being swords, but I mean, I can get over that. The rest of the, like the good cheer, I can see where that's cups. And candles is wands, that makes sense. What's this? Good cheer. Now I'm trying to think. Candles, gifts. Gifts are the pentacles. This just reminds me of that aesthetic of my, oh, and there's a snowman. Reminds me of my snowman tree topper pot. I want to thank Candy for creating this. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, and you'd like to see more of my content, remember to like and subscribe and click on the bell so you get alerted. Happy holidays. Happy Yuletide. Take care of yourself. Bye. When my kids were little, this made me think of it. We, around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock on Christmas Eve, get up on the roof and shake bells and stomp around and ho, ho, ho. And the kids were like, oh, Santa's here. We have to go to bed because he won't bring the presents until he come, you know, we're in bed. And then we do the cookies in the milk. I'd sprinkle glitter, like special glow-in-the-dark glitter around.